It's a bit better than the sprinkler that I used to run through as a kid on the home lawn back in Ballarat. But great to be here this weekend. It is a really important part of the Dunlop Series and the V8 Supercars we're getting ready for. Race 2 of the Dunlop Series, Greg Murphy is alongside me. Rihanna Crean will be in the pit lane. Race 2, Murph. I'm surprised we got some cars left. It was carnage yesterday and top 10's reversed from the finishing order.
Yeah, she was action plenty to talk about. Lots of highlights there. So the reverse top 10 is going to make it interesting. Obviously, big news. Cam Waters got involved in another incident yesterday which caused some havoc. He lost a few points after the race was finished. 25-point penalty for Cam Waters. A lot of drivers up and down pit lane saying that's not enough. He's been in too many incidents. There should be more because he's been in more incidents. It affected Chris Pither. They've repaired the ice brake Commodore. It's on the grid. Stephen Johnson's Wilson Security Ford. It's on the grid. So we've reversed the top 10 from race 1. Ash Walsh got out of jail free yesterday. That was free, all right. Oh. Man, he started from the back of the grid after a qualifying infringement where he didn't stop at the scale. After qualifying, he was off the back. He managed to somehow weave his way through all that carnage and finished inside the top 10, finished 5th. So reverse top 10, he starts from 6th position. And here's the highlights from yesterday. As we said, action aplenty. The safety car was seen way too many times. This happened on the first lap with teammates. Andre Heimgartner there into the side of Blanchard, some damage done. They didn't go too much further. Here we saw, Christian Lindbaum get sideways out of 4. Emery into that one. Lots of damage. There was Walsh just missing it.
Lindbaum's out for the day. Too much damage. They don't have enough spares for that Dragon team. This was the one, though. Cam Waters, the pole man, tapping Chris Pither, the last round winner. Johnson in the air. Cars going everywhere. Absolute chaos and carnage.
Yeah, fire. There's a replay now. Waters didn't really know what to do. He got caught a little bit, I think, by Pither. He couldn't make up his mind if he should get in the hole or not. He finally did. Locked a brake. Look at the fire underneath the bonnet of Pither's car. I made reference yesterday. It was petrol. It's actually oil catching fire under there. Pulled umbrella though, untouched. Didn't do too much racing under green, but he did it very easy.
He's closed right in on the series leader. Now, remember, in a couple of weeks' time, we head to Sydney Motorsport Park, the 400 event there. You can win a hot lap. Go to the V8 Supercars website. We'll be drawing out 10 hot laps. You need to tell us in 25 words or less. What's your entry? You going to go for a ride? James Courtney, maybe?
Go for a ride with James Courtney would be great. Be really, really good.
What's second prize?
Ride with Craig Lowndes. Yeah. No, what a great competition there. Great opportunity for the fans to get on board a supercar for a lap around Sydney Motorsport Park. And
there'll be one a day from August the 8th to the 16th, named through the V8 Supercar website, so jump on there. Morgan Haber will start from pole for this one. He finished 10th in race 1. Marcus Zukanovic is alongside the former V8 Ute champion, one of the ex-Ford Performance Racing Falcons. I just want to cover off too, you see there Marcus in the blue number 71 car. Very special reason for him this weekend. He lost his cousin very unexpectedly, Stacey, a couple of weeks ago, so I know it's been a tough time for the Zukanovic family, but he's got to the front row of the grid here and he's in a good position to make a serious result. So Port Umbrell, the winner from yesterday, goes back to 10th. This is the inversion that is common in the Dunlop Series. We won't have this for the rest of the year. Bathurst, 250-kilometre feature race on Saturday afternoon, recently announced, and then Sydney, it's a 2-race format with no reverse grid. So this is the last time we'll do this in 2014.
And it was, it's a big challenge. It was changed this year, going to 2 races, 2 100k races, which has been great for the Dunlop Series. But now to take it to one big 250k race, there's going to be pit stops. They've got to put fuel in the cars. There's lots of stuff to be sorted out, and there's also the possibility they can have a driver change as well. So some interesting stuff going on in the Dunlop Series. Big challenge for these 2 guys off the front row. They need to get away. Morgan Haber on pole. He's a young guy, has had a great season so far, but here's an opportunity for him. The green flag about to be waved.
Here we go. Listen to this, the Dunlop Series, race 2, it's 29 laps. There's 150 points on the line. Walsh leads the series. Dumbrell is second and closing in. Can one of these other guys, though, jag a race win in the reverse top 10? Away we go. Haber, the pole man, does not get it going. Zukanovic does, Paul Morris does, and Pedersen does. They've swallowed him up. Ash Walsh has gone through. Series leader has to be really careful here.
Well, he's touching there with Pedersen as they go through 1 into 2. Good start by Walsh. He's made a couple of spots if he can hold this one. Through turn 2, he does that well. Teammates side by side. Jacobson and Pedersen.
Car off in the background, Greg. Stephen Johnson starting from down the back of the field, part of his preparation for the Pertec Enduro Cup, but he hasn't been able to string together much racing without drama this weekend. Haber hung out to dry. Ant Pedersen's got him. His teammate Gary Jacobson is lined up next, but Zukanovic's getting away.
Yeah, he's got to put his head down and focus out the front. Don't look in the mirror. There's Haber trying to make amends for that poor start. The opportunity lost there for sure, but Walsh, he's the one up in third position. There's Paul Dumbrell behind Andrew Jones. It won't be an easy pass. Andrew Jones knows how to fight hard. Streaming down the end of the first lap into the last corner. Zucanovic, good job. Good first lap, nice and clean.
Long race distance this year. There's Cam Waters. We've lengthened the races this year. Last year it was crash and burn. You'd think it was a last year race yesterday when they were really short, but they've got a bit more time to settle to rhythm. So it's Zucanovic who leads. Oh, he's wide on the exit of one here. That'll cost him time. Morris will get onto him in that United Falcon. Walsh is third. He's made a great jump. Dumbrell has not made an impression. He's still 10th where he started. Jones.
Using all the road. Macaulay Jones in his second race meeting here in the Dunlop Series. Brad Jones' son doing a great job there. Morris looking down the inside of Zucanovic into 3. Walsh is very racy as he's been all season. He's been using his brain. It's been impressive to watch. And he's looking for a way past Morris. We know how hard it is to get past. Weaving side to side. Morris looking at Zucanovic, coming late. Zucanovic was early on the brakes. Walsh touches. He thought he was going to get through there too.
Good call from Walsh, though. Could have been seduced. Could have been seduced to put the nose in.
He was seduced to get in there. And Zucanovic has finally closed the gap. Walsh now looking in inside it. They'll turn 6. He'll use every bit of road and more. Gets on the curve, makes it stick. Nice move by him. He's on the back of Morris now in second spot.
Paul Morris driving, remember, with Chaz Mostert come the Enduros and the Pepsi Max crew number 6 car. Ash Walsh will be with Dick Johnson Racing. He'll drive with Scott Pye, but he's trying to win this series. He was the runner-up to Dale Wood last year. He stepped the game up with Matt Stone Racing this year. It's one of the ex-Tim Slade Stone Brothers cars from a couple of years ago. Zucanovic, ex-FPR car. There's good gear in here. Some of these drivers are being able to really show what they can do. Fastest man on the road, though, is Stephen Johnson at the back of the field in position 28.
Yeah, Steve not having a great weekend. Obviously caught up with a lot of damage yesterday. There's Dumbrell making a move on Aaron Russell. Andrew Jones is going to have a sniff at this one as well on the outside, though, for turn 4. Russell, great result yesterday for him, finishing second. It was superb to see those guys get through some of the stuff as Jones looks down the inside and hits him. He's going to have to give that back, and Waters is going to take advantage of that up the inside of Jones. A free pass.
Andrew did the right thing there to lift and let Aaron Russell back in, but it meant that Cam Waters pounced on him and stole 10th spot. But it's better than playing on and then getting a penalty later.
In Casey Stone looking on last year, had a crack at the Dunlop Series. He's probably looking and saying that things haven't changed too much in there from when he was there 12 months ago. But Waters, after the stuff that happened yesterday, is making a move through the field as Walsh, who's taken the lead cleanly from Paul Morris. The speed Waters has is impressive, but he's made those mistakes. His reputation has been soured because of it.
Remember too, Murph, we run the round format still in the Dunlop Series, so most points for the weekend wins at the moment. Walshwood had enough. He doesn't need Dumbrell to carve through. Dumbrell gets a few more spots. He ends up coming up to the top of the order when we give out the trophies after this race, but Dumbrell is methodically picking them off one by one by one. He's got Jack LeBrock now. He's up to 7th, and he's got his teammate up in front of him. He's got Gary Jacobson there. He's got Ant Pedersen there as well, but Morgan Haber is right there in between them. So that's the experience. He's been here before. He knows he's got 29 laps. He knows he doesn't have to win it at the first corner. You can see it in the way he's approaching this.
Yeah, and it's the patience. You know, we've seen a lot of things go on in the Dunlop Series, which is the lack of patience, lack of experience. Those are the kinds of things that the guys like Dumbrell just don't do. But Walsh, very impressive out front. I mean, he knew what he needed to do yesterday was stay out of trouble. He did that. He got through to 5th, and now he's leading race 2.
And he's just set the fastest lap of this race, 1:11.68. He's the only man who's going that sort of lap speed at the moment. He's a hometown Ipswich boy. He leads the way. Come back in a sec. There is a natural enemy of all motor racing commentators. Identically liveried cars. Get 3 of them in the one shot and it can scramble the brain very quickly. We're back with the Dunlop Series at Queensland Raceway. We are looking at the 3 Eggleston Motorsport cars. Ant Pedersen from New Zealand. He's in car 38. He's in front. Gary Jacobson from Shepparton is behind. Then Paul Dumbrell, yesterday's race winner, is right with his teammates.
Is there team orders?
I don't think that's an order. I think that's a case of just making it easy.
Yeah, Paul Dumbrell definitely teaching his younger teammate a bit of a lesson there. Moves ahead into fourth position behind Ant Pedersen from New Zealand. But Dumbrell showing his class at the moment. He's definitely got a good handle on this.
Spent some time talking to PD this week. Of course, he's doing this to get ready to drive with Jamie Whincup later on in the season. I said, is it working? Is it what you thought it would be? Because he doesn't go testing with the Eggleston team. He works in terms of his business. He's been on planes left, right and centre around the world. So he doesn't get a chance to do this. This is his testing. And he said, this is the best testing. Racing cars,
absolutely,
looking at the data, being competitive, rather than burning around a track yourself one day. Nothing compares. This is the way to do it. But out front, Ash Walsh has cleared away. Long way to go, though. Dumbrell starting to play in.
Racing's what it's all about. There's no question. Being race fit is the thing that you want most, and that's why you see other guys, you know, Stephen Richards, Craig Beard racing Carrera Cup. There's a bunch of guys in there doing that just to keep those race miles up. And you know, it's not a V8 supercar, but it's a racecraft that they're maintaining. This battle's continuing. This will be a bit of a lesson here for Ant Pedersen too. The pressure is on. He won't want his teammate to be getting past him. And those guys, be some nervous Eggleston Motorsport crew members sitting on the pit wall right now.
We had a bit of news yesterday with Ant Pedersen, the guy who's driving car 38. He's a Kiwi. You've raced against him in Super Tourist. Coming for the background, I think Zukanovic's involved there, is he not? We'll pick that up, turn 6. There were a couple of cars. Yes, it's Marcus. He's bogged. Macaulay Jones in his second start in the Dunlop Series is involved. They were on the fringe of the top 10. Another car stopping here on pit straight, Greg, is Dan Day. Safety car is being called, and that will tighten it up. Ash Walsh's work will come back to 0, and Dumbrell's now in front of his teammate, so he's got to position 3, and that means over the course of the weekend he'll have picked up points on Ash Walsh, and he's got an opportunity now to close into Morris, close into Walsh. Marcus Zukanovic, though, the front row has ended backwards at turn 6.
Well, it looks like Dumbrell's definitely got the speed over. He'll have the speed over Paul Morris. Will have the speed over Walsh. We'll find out. That could be a very good battle. But yeah, Marcus Zukanovic and his Day's car parked it down the
major front damage
with a lot
too.
of front damage on the front straight here.
Young
was he involved in?
Let's have a look. This will tell the story. Oh, Zukanovic's off
with
Macaulay. There's Dan Day in the blue car there. He's gone through the corner with the front as it should be. The two South Australian boys.
He's run up the back.
Josh Keane and Dan Day, the two South Australians in ex-Walkinshaw Commodores, have got together.
Yeah, boys, a familiar face in V8 Supercars. Casey Stoner, welcome back to V8 Supercars and Queensland Raceway. It must be nice to be back and in a familiar paddock.
Yeah, it's nice actually to catch up with everyone. We're going to come to a race earlier on in the year and it just didn't work out with timing. So, you know, this is fairly close to home and thought we'd pop in at least for one day.
I know you and the family, you've been away a lot in recent months. What have you been up to?
Yeah, we did a trip over to America and caught up with friends of ours over there and did something that I wanted to do for a long time, which was go and watch, you know, the American Supercross. A lot of things like that. So I've done a lot of things that I've been wanting to do for many, many years and never had the time to do. So it's been a really, really good year for us so far.
Will we get to see you at Bathurst this year?
I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see how the calendar is and sort of what we've got planned. But if not that, then maybe the Gold Coast, you know, 600. So we'll see, you know, we'll see what the calendar permits.
Thanks very much for your time, Casey. Enjoy the rest of your day.
No problem. Thank you.
Great to see him here at Queensland Raceway. His old car at the moment sits third. Paul Dumbrell is behind the wheel. We're under the safety car. Marcus Zukanovic is still spinning those wheels. He's not going to go anywhere until he gets towed out, which he does now. We'll come back and get a restart soon. Plenty of fans at Queensland Raceway making sure they have got the gear. There's an old school shirt. Last of the Big Bangers, Greg Murphy.
That's a good shirt.
That's the car that hooked you as a kid, wasn't it?
That was the car that hooked me, mate. That's the one I remember the most. You know, the big Group C Big Banger Peter Brock.
Red Bull gear, FPR gear, there's Erebus shirts. Everyone has got their colours on for today. Of course, the V8 Supercars qualifying and race 25 to come. Dunlop Series is up at the moment. We've probably done more safety car running this weekend than we've done all year in 2014. But to give you the update, Ash Walsh is the leader. We're on lap 11 of 29. Paul Morris is second. Paul Dumbrell is third from Ant Pedersen and Gary Jacobson. Cam Waters is up to 7th for Ford Performance Racing. He started from position 19. Here's a replay of the start. Morgan Haber on pole. Reverse top 10 format today. He made a meal of it, basically.
Yeah, not a great start. He had to have 2 or 3 goes to get away. A bit nervous, obviously, at the start. On pole position from the reverse top 10. Morris slotted through, got inside Pedersen as well. Zukanovic got a great start, but it's all turned bad for him since then. Ash Walsh got up the inside of Pedersen before turn 2, into third. He now leads this race after cleanly making his way to the front.
And he's the series leader in terms of points. This was turn 2. Stephen Johnson starting down the back. That car was damaged yesterday. You can see the dent in the right rear.
He's pretty lucky it didn't get some more damage today. There's Andre Heimgartner just going to thread his way through underneath using the curb. So good to see that didn't come to anything worse. Not sure if he got a little helping hand. DJ not overly impressed.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Of course, Stephen will jump back into car 17. He'll co-drive for David Wall in the Pertec Enduro Cup and at Bathurst. I covered it off in the news yesterday. Retro livery for DJR. They're going to the Shell FAI livery of 94. That's going to look really cool.
It's going to look really cool. Great to see that after them doing that in the past as well, using some retro liveries. Look forward to seeing it. But hopefully we're not too far away from getting a start. Ash Walsh at the front.
And it's a restart this time by. The lights will go off on the Petters SRT Chrysler safety car, so Ash Walsh will lead us away. He's been impressive this year. He's stepped it up from last year. He's got good continuity, same team, same car, same engineering group, and has done the best job over all the year. It looks like he's learnt the lessons of the last few years.
Yeah, his confidence is obviously really strong, and he just, you can see when you're talking to him, he is confident about what he's doing. He's really happy in his environment. Paul Morris behind. He's holding him, he goes. Just before he turns in for the last corner, he puts the foot down. She's a bit slidey there on the cold tyres. The cold Dunlops get him off the last turn. He's away. The green flag's waved. We'll see if Dumbrell can do anything with Morris quickly and if the race will fight between Walsh and Dumbrell. Waters streaming through. He's up to 7th. He'll be keen to make a few more spots. They stream through turn 2. The Eilston Motorsport cars, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Dumbrell looking. Oh, Morris has made a mistake. He's locked up. Too easy for Paul Dumbrell to get through into 2nd spot. Bit of a mistake there by Morris, which we don't see too many of. Cold tyres, though, they've been behind that safety car for the last 3 or 4 laps, and it's difficult to get those temperatures back in. The temperature has dropped outside, too. We see a bit of weather on the radar. It looks like it's pushing this way, but the temperature's definitely come down.
Bit of a crosswind, too, across the front straight. Watching the flags out our commentary box there, certainly starting to flap around, but Morris now trying to get back the rhythm. Walsh 1, Dumbrell 2. That's the way they run in the race. That's the way that they sit in the series. There's Chris Pither, Ice Spray Coffee Commodore. Major damage to the front of that car. They did a really good job at Brad Jones Racing. He started position 25. He's picked his way through to 13th.
It was a real shame to see that yesterday for him. Those guys have been working really, really hard. They've improved. They had some great speed at Townsville. As we've seen, won a race there. And to qualify as good as he did yesterday, qualified 3rd, and then to have it all finish on that lap. But that altercation with Cam Waters was so disappointing. Those guys worked very late last night to get that car going. It's going good. Got a great team there at BJR, obviously. It's getting quite tight here. Jacobson now putting the pressure on his other teammate, and Pedersen. And Waters, he's stalking just behind.
And Pedersen, we announced yesterday, he'll drive at Bathurst in the main championship. He will be part of the wildcard entry from Super Black Racing. He'll team up with Andre Heimgartner. That was Cam Waters in the background putting a move on Morgan Haber, but Pedersen will drive. Obviously, he's got his Dunlop Series program here. He'll drive an FPR run Falcon for Super Black, which is virtually, it's a Kiwi team that's going to compete at the mountain.
Yeah, FPR putting that one together for them. So Kiwi owners supporting and getting the Silver Fern back in on the grid after Team Kiwi a few years ago.
Rusty French watching on at Cam Waters. Macaulay Jones again. Aaron McGill involved. Rusty's watching on because he's a part owner, remember, of FPR. He did drive Cam Waters' car. He'd never driven a V8 supercar until only recently on a test day at Winton.
Test day, that's right. Saw him out there doing some laps. I think he absolutely loved every minute of it. There was a few nervous figures standing on the pit fence, of course. But
T. Edwards, he was one of them.
But Cam Waters, here we go, down the inside. He's got the nose. He's going to be pretty nervous. I reckon he backs out of that one.
Jacobson needs to think through this because he's on target, perhaps, to to get to the podium for the round, but he just needs to not drop too many spots here because he's pretty much contending for that final slot on the podium with Morris and Pedersen when we add together the points.
Yeah, it's very tight now. I think at the moment with that pass that was just made by Waters, he's now equal for third with Aaron Russell. So there's going to be some position changes before the end of this race. Waters using every bit of road on the exit, but he has put himself up into fifth position. A very good recovery from way back, and he's been very tentative, doing the job he needs to be doing, probably the job he needed to do yesterday. He's doing it today, driving very clean and making the progress.
Now here's a replay. Macaulay Jones, car 12, Aaron McGill behind. I reckon I know what's going to happen here.
I think I know. I could read this one.
Ah, now Michael Hector's had a look. McGill has a look. He's right in there, locks up at the end, and they both go around.
He got suckered a little bit there, Aaron McGill, into that move by Hector, who showed him the nose. Shouldn't have been looking in the mirror. And poor old Macaulay Jones.
There is
Brad's down
off. Brad Jones watching on as his young fella.
Bit somber looking there. Hey, well, what have we got? Sees Waters down. Putting the pressure on Pedersen. It's going to happen.
He's got it done. Ash Walsh leads the way. He's 1.3 seconds ahead. Dumbrell's chasing. 18 laps down of 29 in race 2, round 5 of the Dunlop Series for V8 Supercars. We're at Queensland Raceway. The paperclip, as we call it. It is designed like one, but I tell you what, it puts on some good racing. Cameron Waters, the NZ Ford, is moving forward. He's up to third. He's gone by Paul Morris while we were away. Ash Walsh leads 1.3 seconds to Paul Dumbrell. Their pace is really, really comparative. Dumbrell on target to win the round overall. Behind, Morris is fourth and Pedersen next. Then Jack LeBrock. There's Gary Jacobson. Black Falcon next of Aaron Russell, the young Newcastle privateer, the orange and black car, one of the ex-Jim Beam Racing Falcons. If it stays as it is, he will stand on the podium for the weekend. And in the Dunlop Series, the competition, the budgets, some newer equipment, that would be a stunning result for that team.
Yeah, he's looking pretty comfortable there too at the moment. And driving really nicely. As we see Haber showing a nose to his teammate. Tim Blanchard gives a bit of a touch. Pithers right there waiting.
So we've got Dicey with Jones down the road. Todd Hazelwood, Haber, Pither, Heimgartner. So Heimgartner's the other part of that super black Kiwi wildcard entry for Bathurst. He'll drive with Ant Pedersen. So they'll go from being rivals to being partners in the one weekend come October. Out front, Walsh, Dumbrell and Waters. They are the fastest three cars on the road. They're the only ones in the 1 minute 11 second bracket. The rest are in the 12s and 13s. And it's here on in 20 laps that these longer races this year give these guys the opportunity to learn how these cars react over a long run. The tyres go away. They make inboard roll bar adjustments. And of course, adapting the style, which they're going to have to do one day if they're going to become an enduro driver in the Pertec Enduro Cup, or indeed a main gamer in the V8 Supercar Championship.
Boys, I just wanted to steal Brad Jones away from Pitwell just for a couple of minutes. Brad, it must be difficult on these weekends. You've got three boys out there in the Dunlop Series. Chris Pither, big repair job for the guys last night after the accident yesterday.
It's a lot of work, yeah. I mean, they pretty much run themselves, though. I'm really just here watching Macaulay and keeping my eye on the other two, to tell you the truth. So they've done a fantastic job with Chris's car. He's pretty fast. He's chewing back through the field, so it's pretty good.
And Macaulay doing a great job. And Andy currently sitting in 10th spot. That's a great position for him.
Yeah, it is a great position. We, you know, 6 cars is very difficult for the good boys that run the DBS side of things, do it all by themselves. They don't have a lot of input from what happens over here in the main game. And it's nice to be able to wander over here and see what's going on.
This afternoon we moved to V8 Supercars, 200 kilometres. Action-packed in yesterday's race, in the afternoon race. Much different, though, today when we see pit stops come into play.
Well, tyre degradation's not as bad as it is at somewhere like Winton, so strategy's going to be really important because I think this is one of the harder places to place at. Easy for me to say. So I think it's going to be a really interesting race to see who goes really early and who tries to carry their tyres to get track position. So there's a fair bit to think about.
Okay, we'll let you get back to enjoying some racing before you have to do work in the afternoon.
Fantastic, thanks.
We had to have a giggle at him when he slips up like that.
Yeah, no, it's great to have any excuse to give him a hard time, to be honest. Here's Stephen Johnson.
This is for position 15.
Slotting down the inside of Jeff Emery.
Who wants it back?
He does want it back. He's got the overlap too. Stevie J's going to have to give him some room. They're going to go side by side through 4. That doesn't happen. 5. That doesn't happen very often.
But it takes 2 guys to get through there, and they just proved you can do it when you do it smart.
Both have had, as we've already talked about, shocking days yesterday, and a lot of damage to Stevie J's car involved in that shunt. Bit of a replay. The gaggle down here. Oh, that's teammate on teammate. Here we go, Steve.
Jeff Emery and Matt Hansen.
Oh, Matt Hansen facing the wrong way.
They do have different livery cars, but they're prepared by GMJ Motorsport together with Jim Pollicino's car.
And they're both 888 cars as well, ex-888 cars.
This was the move. That was Waters going by Morris for third that we had unfold during the break. Aaron McGill's been involved in a little bit of drama with Macaulay Jones, and now he's had a run off. Paul Dumbrell is catching. The gear wrench Commodore is slicing into this margin of series leader and race leader Ash Walsh. It's down to 0.4 of a second. There's 8 laps to complete. We have got a dice right to the end in the Dunlop Series at Ipswich. There is nothing better than title rivals going at it directly with one another on the racetrack. It's one-on-one. It's Ash Walsh versus Paul Dumbrell. They are 1-2 in the points. They are 2-1 for the weekend in the order that they run. There's a race win on the line. There's 5 laps to go in the final race of the weekend for the Dunlop Series here at Queensland Raceway. And Dumbrell has been munching margin, but he's kind of run out of gain at the moment, Greg Murphy, because he's got to the back of the infant's friend Ford, but he's now got to have something left to get past it.
Well, he's just trying to work out where he's a bit stronger, obviously, than Ash Walsh. And so far, Walsh hasn't had to go defensive on him. So he's pretty comfortable that he's fast enough in the important places. One of them is here, under brakes. You can see Dumbrell just closing that gap, sneaking right up behind him. He's got the lights on. As we go back a little bit further in the field, there's Aaron Russell. He is currently third at the moment in the points.
He's 8th in the race.
Just ahead of Jacobson. There's 6 points in it, so he needs to hold this spot. Tim Blanchard behind him, putting pressure. He wants to take it away from him. This could be a big difference here. Who finishes on the podium? LeBrock's ahead.
He's 7th. Russell 8th. Tim Blanchard next in the queue in 9th. He's come from down the back from 21st. Todd Hazelwood next. He rounds out the top 10, but you're right. This is all about pressure for Aaron Russell. Start to lose positions, you lose points, you slip off the podium. Walsh wide on the exit of turn 2. Dumbrell was as well.
Did he get a run? Has he got a run? He's still got that distance, but he's good on the brakes. Oh, he goes deep. Walsh went very deep that time. Has he run it a little bit too? No, he gets it turned through the centre. And looks like he's got the drive, so he gets away with that one. Looked like he saw Dumbrell was a little bit closer after that little mistake. Again, turn 4, good gap. He still hasn't had to go defensive. Dumbrell closes up there. That car's very strong, so Walsh needs to get out of 3 clean every lap. He's good through 4, good through 5. The pressure's on. Still a good gap here. Walsh driving superbly. Just don't want to make a mistake. He's hardly made one all season.
They need to consider too, Greg, that this could be a time-certain finish because of the safety car involvement in this race. They might end up a lap or 2 short, so Dumbrell might need to get on with it. Chaz Mostert, former Dunlop Series driver. Mark Winterbottom, former Series champion in this category, watching on. Now Russell
was defending. He's got Blanchard in the back of his car, giving him a little bit of helping hand. He needs to put his head down, focus out the front. Don't look in those mirrors. Look at the gaggle forming.
Now, he's a guy that would love this race to be a lap shorter. It's a lap less that he gets pestered by Blanchard and Hazelwood and Andrew Jones, Morgan Haber and Andre Heimgartner. Dumbrell going for the move at turn 3.
Walsh is going to have to try it. No, he can't.
Got it.
Got moved a little bit out of the way by Dumbrell. He used up all the road. Walsh gave him the road as well, gave him the room. Clean stuff. Good pass by Paul Dumbrell to take the lead. Extends it in the championship too by those points you were talking about earlier.
It's worth 12. It's a 12 turnaround. It's 150 to win this race. It's 138 to run second. And Dumbrell, of course, won yesterday's race. He started from 10th. No one has clean swept a weekend of races in the Dunlop Series so far this year. It's been a jumbled bag between the 4 rounds and the drivers that have won all of those races. Dumbrell's done a bit of winning. He won a race in Adelaide. He won a race at Barbagallo. He missed one at Barbagallo because of business commitments. He's effectively a race behind the rest of his opposition. That's how it would sit if they finish now. Dumbrell would lead going to the mountain. It's been confirmed. We will fit in the full 29 laps at the moment. I don't think Walsh has got anything here. He needs to bring it on home in second, which at the end of qualifying early in the weekend, when he got excluded, sent to the back, if you said he was going to finish second for the weekend, he'd take it every day of the week.
He would take it, but the Commodore looks a little bit too sharp as we see Heimgartner get the spot on Haber. There's Chris Pither following behind, so the battle goes on. Aaron Russell still surviving that one. Blanchard, still a car length or so behind him. That keeps him in that third, that podium spot. Haber doesn't look like he's finished with his teammate, though. Shows the nose down the inside into 3. Heimgartner holds it out. Stephen Johnson just trying to get himself into the mix there, too, with just over a lap to run.
On the fringe of the top 10. It's been an entertaining weekend of racing in the Dunlop Series. Bit of carnage yesterday. Of course, everyone's getting excited. They've got a bit of a break now before round 6 at Bathurst in the middle of October, announced during the week a 250-kilometre Saturday feature race up there. Some of the details still to be fleshed out in terms of how it will work with potential co-drivers, who is allowed and not allowed, and pit stops, refuelling, tyre change and the like. Looking forward to it when we head up there in October. But Paul Dumbrell is on his way home to a round win, to a clean sweep of 300 points in the series that he won way back when, in 2002, when he was a young emerging racer. He's a little more mature these days. He's been around.
I think I can remember him back in 2002, actually, and a little bit before that as well. But he's had a big career in the sport, maintaining a great position in the endurance races, huge amount of success. And he is showing the way this weekend. Has showed the young guys how it's done. The Eagleton Motorsport crew supplying him a fantastic car to do the job.
And this would be 2 in a row for them, because Jack Perkins won with them last year. So Paul Dumbrell takes the series lead, wins both races, wins the round. It's a great weekend for Eagleton Motorsport. It's a great fight back from Ash Walsh from the rear of the grid yesterday, worked his way through, second for the race, second for the round. Cam Waters with a nice fight back to finish third in this race. Look back, Aaron Russell should get to the podium. He's still 8th. There he is. Well done. Great drive from a young guy who's been around this sport for quite some time. He will be ecstatic with that. So he should be. That's a little privateer team up against some big level 1 teams. That's a great job.
Yeah, congratulations to those guys. Great to see them get the opportunity to get on the podium. Paul Dumbrell, though, too good for the rest of them. There's Walsh. Waters, the other contender. He's had a tough weekend. Paul Morris, great job to see him coming in 4th. The rest of them, Gary Jacobson. But there's Aaron Russell finishing 8th and takes that 3rd spot on the podium.
Todd Hazelwood rounds out the top 10. When we come back, we'll head to the podium at Queensland Raceway with the Dunlop Series. What a massive game that will be. All the big sport on 7 Sport in 2014. We're in Ipswich this weekend, Queensland Raceway, but in the area around, this is St Mary's Church, built in 1904. There's 6,000 heritage-listed sites in this part of Queensland. Mansions from 1890. A population of 185,000 people. It's a great part of Queensland, and it's a heartland for V8 supercar racing. We've seen all sorts of action in the Dunlop Series. Rihanna Crean is with our winner.
Paul Dumbrell, in the week leading up to this event, you've quite literally travelled the world, but coming here, 2 race wins, the round win, and you've taken the championship lead. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, hey, what a great weekend to bounce back. We've had a few tough, inconsistent weekends, but we've certainly shown this weekend we've got the speed, and we can't wait to come to Bathurst, big 250k race. So, hey, it's a couple of races to go, so a long way in the championship.
Get up there and spray the champagne. Congratulations, Paul.
Thank you very much.
He's had a great day, great weekend. He's won both races. Perfect score, 300 points. Ash Walsh on the podium. Aaron Russell, great job, 3rd. Gary Jacobson's done a good, solid job too. Paul Morris in 5th. The Eagleton team have 3 cars in the top 6. Ant Pedersen finishing 6th overall from Andrew Jones. Jack LeBrock, another top 10. He's done a nice job. Cam Waters, a messy weekend. He will get to fire back at Bathurst in a couple of months' time. And Morgan Haber rounded out the top 10. Let's head to the podium, though. We're set with Mark Beretta on duty.
Introducing the winning drivers from round 5. In first place for Eagleton Motorsport, Paul Dumbrell. In second place for Infant's friend Ash Walsh. And in 3rd place, Aaron Russell for Go Karts Go Northside Fire Service. Making the presentation of the trophies to 3rd place is Mr. John Casey, Marketing Director of V8 Supercars. Presenting to 2nd place is Jeremy Hill, Marketing Group Manager, Coates Hire. And making the presentation of the first place trophy is Kevin Fitzsimmons, V8 Supercars Operations Manager for our major sponsor, Dunlop. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 V8 Supercars Dunlop Series Round 5 winners.
We've got a series on our hands, Barrett's. 2 rounds to go. Dumbrell and Walsh will duke it out when we go to the mountain in October. 4 points in it and an enduro at the mountain to come. Well done, Aaron Russell. He's been in this series for 5 years and he's on the podium for the first time. That champagne will taste really, really sweet. We'll next see the Dunlop Series at Bathurst, but this afternoon coming up, the big boys, the V8 Supercars Championship. Armour qualifying, 20 minutes on the clock and another pole position on the line to determine the grid for this afternoon's longer race. Race 25, live from Queensland Raceway. Don't go anywhere. Supercars on 7 on Sunday. It's a super sprint weekend.